What's going on, guys? We're here today and we're playing ESO, and we're basically going to jump right into a Flame Dragonite build. If you like Dragonite and you like mages and you want a Fire Mage build, this is the one for you. So, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing we're going to look at is just like our abilities, as well as the weird guild that we're using. So, as far as guilds go, the only guilds we're going to be messing with is the Mages Guild. We're using all the passives because we're using two Mages Guild abilities. Now, Mage Light, a lot of people don't really know what this is for, but this is just a passive. It says, while slotted, you gain Major Prophecy, increasing your spell crit rating by 2,600, and, prevent stuns from stealth attacks from your nearby allies, right? So it's like, you can do a lot with this ability. Basically, you're just going to leave it completely alone, and it's just going to up your damage, and that's all you want. Now, we have it double barred, so we constantly have that buff, and we never lose it. Now, let's go ahead and jump into next thing here. So Scalding Ruin is what we're going to be using here, as well as um, the Destruction Staff, Elemental Blockade. Now, this is going to be our AoE side of things, so I'll go ahead and show it on this bear real quick. And also with Destruction Staff, we want all the passives. In the classes, we want all of our passives, mainly an Ardent Flame, because it's a flame build. And then armor, we're running pure light armor, so we're going to want all those passives as well. But we'll get to the gear here in a second. But basically, so this one, right, so these are two AoE flame abilities. Our third ability is coming from Ardent Flame, and it's engulfing flames. And then we have a Cinder Storm and Mage Light, and then we flip it Mage Light, and then so this is going to be all of our AoE dots here that we're just going to fucking obliterate people with. Now, whenever we do the flip, Empowering Chains, that's going to buff us up. The whip, if you do chain and then whip, you'll actually be able to heal with your whip every single time you chain whip. So chain whip, you'll heal. Flames of Oblivion is going to be another dot, as well as a little passive that's going to be throwing fireballs for us. And then finally another Burning Embers dot. So let's go ahead and show off what this build is going to be doing. Our ultimates is not Firestorm. It's actually Standard of Might and Ferocious Sleep. So Standard of Might is basically going to make it where it's going to do flame damage, and it's going to reduce damage done. Also increase your damage that you're doing inside of the circle. And then Ferocious Sleep is going to do flame damage and give you a huge shield that is going to protect you. So that's kind of the quick rundown of the abilities. Let's go ahead and show it off. So first we're just going to throw this down, throw our rune down, we're going to engulf them in flames, throw our fourth ability down, which our fourth ability is just a heal. So then we chain to empower, whip, and he's dead. And then, you know. But yeah, so that's pretty much what the build's going to be looking like. Now hold on, let's go over here, do something else. Alright, so we put on our third ability. It's going to be a little fireball that's going to cast stuff. We chain, we go ahead and put that down. You really want to put your heal down pretty quickly because your heal is going to be what's going to keep you alive. Like, my health is going up strictly because of the AoE heal, so you want to stay in it. But since this is a close range fire build, we don't really have to worry about much. So, looking back at some stuff here. So pretty much the way it's going to work without any mobs in the area is you're going to want to put down all your AoEs, engulf them in flames, put your heal down, flip bars, activate your Flames of Oblivion, and then you would just use your Burning Embers, which is your fourth ability, and then you can Chain Whip to heal. Your Chain is also going to empower you, and then your ultimate, it really depends. If you're feeling like you're doing a lot of damage and you want more damage and you don't think there's any threats about you dying, drop the standard. If you think you're about to die, do Ferocious Sleep. It's going to do flame damage and also give you an entire shield that's going to cover up your entire health bar. So let's see if we can find some stuff to ult on real quick. Just to show this off real quick. Go ahead and put this down. So we think we're about to die. We leap, and it does flame damage as well. And we get a huge shield. So, there we go. Bunch of flame damage. Now we're just going to look at the gear real quick. So our stats and our attributes were 64 in Magicka because we want all that. We're running the Mundus Stone of the Mage. Now we are a vampire. You don't have to be a vampire. I just like to be a vampire. Doesn't really matter. And let's see. Now we're gonna jump into our build here, the gear, because obviously that's pretty important. Now we're running two gear sets. We're running the Sunset as well as the Lich set. Now, the Lich set, whenever you switch to your Lich staff, it'll be completed. But pretty much it says whenever you cast an ability that costs resources while under 33% magicka while in combat, your magic recovery is increased for 20 seconds. So you're going to get a giant magic recovery increase, which is very nice with the Lich. And also just more magicka, magicka recovery, that's what we want. And then the Sun gear is going to be for pretty much just rocking out with our fire damage. As you can see, spell criticals, maximum magicka, spell damage, and then adds 372 spell damage to your flame damage abilities. So all of our flame damage abilities are going to be increased. And also you want all your gear to be 160 CP. Now, this isn't all purple, but pretty much the goal is to get all of this purple and get our legendaries eventually. So this is a work in process for the legendaries, but if you're already at legendaries, honestly, just add any increased flame damage legendaries, and that'll be all you'll need. Finally, this, I don't really think this is a huge deal anyway, but since I'm a vampire, I put a lot of points into stamina and magicka and health recovery on here. Pretty much all my points into that. Here I put all my points into weapon spell damage as well as max magicka. And then this one's kind of just a fun one. None of this stuff's really mattering. Reduces the radius when you're sneaking because I wanted to be a sneaky boy. Removes 1,000 gold from bounties once per day. And then that was just a random point I put in something. But yeah, so these aren't too big. With the changes that they did with that, I don't really think they're as important as they used to be. But what can you do? Um, but alright, so let's go ahead and break down more of the build, I guess. So all these are going to be AoE doing damage. And just doing dots to people. Now we're running Cinderstorm because it's a really good heal. Now another thing you can do, instead of going Flames of Oblivion, you can put this to Cauterize, and that's going to become a heal instead and not even do damage anymore. So you could have like this where it's heal, and then damage, 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 damage. So really it's up to you. I wanted the bonus damage, because if you see whenever you go with the Flames of Oblivion, just for having it slotted, you gain the Major Prophecy, Major Savagery, increases your spell, weapon, and critical rating. So just for having it on your bar, you're getting these buffs. Major Prophecy, increase your spell crit, as well as increase your weapon critical. So then we're running the Boon of the Mage. And then Vampirism. Vampirism is pretty fun. If y'all want to see why I have that in the build, I just have it because I think it's fun. Literally, I like the unnatural movement. Whenever you're in stage 4, you can literally go into a shadow mist while you're running, and it's super fun. And also, you can literally run around completely invisible and be undetected by anyone. Um, but pretty much, all these are just going to reduce your damage. And, also the biggest thing about vampires is like the increased magicka recovery and stamina recovery, but no health recovery. So that's always really great. Let's go ahead and find more stuff to show the build off on here. Now, Standard of Might is going to be really good because that's going to just really increase your damage. So we're going to burn them. Oh wow, I forgot to drop my heal. Doesn't matter though. So this is just the AoE to get everyone lit up. And then, but this bar is more single target. Like this bar is more single target. So we'll just see like single target. This is a single target. So you'll mainly be using this bar more than anything because it's going to be your healing. Is also, a lot of your AoE is coming from here. So if there's a lot of people you're fighting, focus on this bar. If you're fighting more single target, focus on this bar. Because let's see if we can find something that's just by itself. Not really. Oh god. Okay. So Flames of Oblivion, turn that on. Chain in, whip, whip. You can go ahead and ember all these to get the dot rolling. Whip, and then whip and power with the chain. Yeah. So the chain grab is going to empower our attacks. Do that. We can put on the Flames of Oblivion. Flames of Oblivion is actually a really good AoE as well, so you can cast that before you switch. Put down your heal, which is your 4th ability, and there you go. Now, obviously, for more damage, you would drop your standard of might, which is going to increase your flame damage. Also, reduce the damage you're taking. And then, if you're about to die, you can switch to the flight one because that one's really solid. Put down my heal. Engulf them in flames. Fire rune. Try our heal again because it didn't actually go down. And there you go. So AoE fire as well as single target fire. And the flame DK build. But alright guys, thanks for tuning in and I'll catch y'all on the next one.